Hello, hello, hello. Ridgeway Racing here with another track guide for you. Next week in the Formula 3 car, we'll be at Hockenheimring Grand Prix. Weather and track conditions in the description. The Cockpit Cam and Chase Cam replay. No voiceover timestamps also in the description. Next week's setup can be found at patreon.com/Ridgeway Racing. No Ian Ridgeway. But first, let's hop in, do a little corner by corner analysis here at Hockenheim. All right, so to start our lap off, we're coming out of 15 and 16. Probably not even the best exits out of this one, but the previous lap was so a 31.791 to start us off. Let's talk about what's happening. So you come out of 15, 16. Hopefully you get a good exit. We'll talk about 16 once we get to it. But we jump straight into turn one. Turn one, slow it on down. Get on that curb. You got to load that left tire up. Really start rotating the car. It doesn't look like the telemetry's taken. Might have to start the telemetry over. Maybe we can use... Oh, it's good. Didn't like the slow-mo. But yeah, that one, this is on a quali setup. But the quali setup with a little extra fuel. So it's a quali setup with like 5 laps of fuel. But yeah, so we come in here right where that 50 is. Right at the end of the curb. Rotate it in. I'll play it one time through. I think the telemetry works at half speed. Let's go. I'm letting off and just hot getting back on. And you can go pretty wide here. You just avoid from that green, avoid, I can't talk. There we go. Avoid the green area with your tires. I think it's the antenna over, you can't see my mouse, but that bottom, where the bottom right corner of the green is. Pretty sure. But then after turn one, we're headed into turn 2 and 3. Nice little combo here. I'm braking right around that 100 pretty sharply, bringing it back down, getting back on the throttle. That's a nice shape of the telemetry. I like that. So that was pretty good. What do we want to do here? Right there. Right, I would say right before the 100. Or right at the 100. You get on the brakes very abruptly, and then I think the half speed's working pretty well, so yeah, I'm hitting 75%, bringing it down, bringing it down, bringing it down, turning in where that red curb is on the right, sort of late apex it as best you can, get back on the throttle. You should go as wide as this next curb because you can grab a little bit of that curb and you won't run out of room here to the right. You don't want to get on those curbs on the right. They'll slow you down a little bit. You got this long straight coming right after it, so make sure make sure you really get 2, 3, 4 down. 5's just on the straight, and then into turn 6, right at the 100. Again, I'm real heavy, and I'm trying to late apex it as much as possible down in first gear and throttle out without spinning the back tires. I got this set up pretty nice on the rear, so be careful with the throttle. It's got good rotation, but on that low speed coming out of such a slow corner, just don't overdo it and spin your rear tires. It's like give it as much gas as you can without spinning them, but make sure you're giving it enough. And yeah, when you first start doing this one, start braking right at that green maybe, and then start bringing it closer to that 100 board and see how it feels for you. You stay in that straight line as long as you can, and then try to late apex it as well and get the car straight and pointed. I don't even think this isn't perfect by any means, but you could probably go, what I say, like a little, in a little tighter on that curve. So you could grab a little bit of that curve, no problem. You just want to make sure you have a really good exit out. Headed into turn 7, just full throttle. Rotate it, don't scrub off too much speed. Kind of arc it in. Here I'm hitting the end of the curb. I'm braking hard. I'm staying in third. I've gone down to second a few times. This is a tricky little section because you're setting up. It's an 8, 9, 10 combo basically. But right about there. But when you first start, maybe just go a little earlier when you're practicing. I'm slowing it down. You see the brake is staying like at a plateau. And at the apex, there's no more brake. And again, ramping up the throttle. Getting as far over to the left here at turn 9 and then turn 10. I let off a little bit. This is a bad, isn't the best one, but you can full throttle this if you if you get the line just right. I was a little late. Probably grabbed a little bit of curb here on the left. You know, it was like too much. I didn't get the grip when I turned. I had to let off a little bit to save it, but you know, left a couple tenths on the table. It's okay. This one I stay in fifth. That was just a big let off and go. You know, when your cold tires are colder, more fuel, you really drag the brake a little bit. You can definitely get up on this curve to the right. I try to do it, but sometimes I would go too far to the left. But what's interesting is you can get pretty crazy here off to the left. There was no off track on that. Isn't that insane? Oh my God. Just hold on to it so the wheel's straight. It's a good example of like, hey, just don't do too much with the wheel. Keep going straight. And into this one. This is a fun corner. There's a bunch of different ways to take it. You could lay apex it. You could just take it low. You could go high low. It's a good setup for a pass corner. I think if you can pull it off, you probably want to get on maybe the outside for the next set of turns. But that one's right at the 50 board. Right there, right where the track changes colors. You could start a little earlier than that. But yeah, I spiked up the brakes super heavy. So very abrupt on the brake. Boom. And as I'm turning in, I'm letting off the brake, turning in, getting the car low, and trying to figure out when I can throttle it. And I'm still even probably a little late on the throttle because you can use a little bit of this track off to the right. But you get back over to the left. Let's let it just play slowly. This one's troublesome. You could get further to the left, but I did it on this one. And you sort of just feel in the car and slowed it down so you can get through there, set this up, and try to carry as much speed as possible because this is basically like a little small straight right here. So I'll play it one time full through. You know, it's a whole combination, right? Really the whole combination starts up here is get this. If you mess it up, it's okay. It's not too much time you're losing. It's a short little section. Then bam, turn this, carry as much speed as possible. Get back on the throttle. Use as much track as you need to without the off track. Get over to the left, further over to the left. Slow it down, and really you have to hit this apex. And you have to go all the way up here. Then you got to bring that down, hit the apex. You could get a little more over. You can go a little further off over here. You pass the finish line. You go, oh, I got a 131.16 or something like that. So I would definitely say with the setup, you could get into the 130s. I ran out of time trying, but best lap so far was the 131.166. The setup feels so. I think this might be one of my favorite setups. The setup feels really grippy, and the tire wear is nice and balanced. The tire temperatures are a little hot, but the track is going to be anywhere from like 30°C to like low 40s for track temp this week. I did a bunch of sessions just starting them up, and they were around that for depending if it's partly cloudy or whatever, right? Um, but yeah, that's it for this track guide. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Appreciate all the Patreon subscriptions for the setups. Thanks for the YouTube subscriptions, everything. Appreciate all the love. Love you guys. Good luck next week at Hockenheim. Next up, we got the Cockpit Cam. No voiceover. Enjoy.